It's a blockbuster movie where no one speaks English.
Yep. And no big movie stars.
Yeah, no big movie stars. No one speaks English. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And he used like real people that lived there.
Yeah. Good for him.
Good for him.
What a fucking swing.
Yeah. He's a fascinating guy. Like his brain is like just rattling all over the place all the time. First time he was on the podcast, he had a pen and he couldn't stop clicking it.
Oh god.
Like the entire time. So click, 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 click. You fucking crazy person. Put the pen down.
Oh man. That was a cool dinner though. He told me some stories of Braveheart. Wow. Of just riding the horse to all these cameras. Like ripping the horse to one camera, seeing the shot, going to the next, seeing the shot, going in, doing the speech, going, looking at playback. Wow. Just like, and then he's like falling asleep, standing up. He was so tired. Like that's like epic stuff. And talk about realism. Like those fights. Still holds up.
Yeah.
That
100%.
soundtrack, come on.
That was an incredible movie.
Like my dad played the bagpipes. He played actually in the World Championships in '95 in Scotland.
Really?
Yeah.
From Canada?
Yeah.
Went to Scotland?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then so the pipes to me, like I remember he was alcoholic and not a lot. He wasn't around a lot. And I remember some of my best memories was like, you know the fucking sound of the pipes when you're putting air in? Mm-hmm. It's the worst sound in the world. It's like a rabbit, like getting bludgeoned. And we would be at Christmas, and all my cousins, his side of the family, and you'd walk downstairs and you could hear these fucking pipes getting air put in, and you could tell he had a few, and he would come up and stand in the middle of the living room and just rip the pipes. And everyone's just like full stop and just beautiful. And you play in Barbados. He worked in Barbados doing a lot of like the pavers, the golf paths, and you play at funerals.
Wow.
And
how did he do in the World Championships?
I don't know. That's a good question, but it's a great story. So Primeval, I was fly fishing in the Madison, just West Yellowstone. I had 4 days off, so I went home to Bozeman, was fly fishing. Only my favorite spot in West Yellowstone. My bro calls me, and I'm like, I just caught like a 20-inch rainbow or something. And I'm fucking ripping into my brother, being like, I'm killing it. The rod's on fire right now. And he's like, so my dad raced cars as well. And his race car name we called him Gooey growing up. And he's like, Gooey's got 48 hours to live. And I was like, fuck. All right. Literally, just verbatim like that. Like, I saw him, the last 19 years, I saw him twice. And one time was in Montana, and he had early onset dementia. And, my brother drove him down. Great stories there. But so I take my adventure van, drive up to Kelowna, my hometown, and I've got this big beard from Primeval. And I hadn't talked to one of my brothers in years, and I was still close to the oldest. Get to the hospital, and he's, I turn his wheelchair around, and I'm like, hey, Gooey. And he's like, who the fuck are you? Yeah. And he's on like oxygen, and I'm like, I'm your youngest son. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm just here to say hi and hang out for a couple days. And he was like on point, like his brain was going. And it was a little like, I hadn't seen my one bro forever. So
how long had it been since you'd seen him before that?
Years, a couple years. Yeah, probably 2 years.
And is it dementia that he didn't recognize you, or the beard?
No, the beard. It was the beard. And I was limping with that fucking toe. And so we go up to his room. This is a Friday at noonish. And he's great, though. Like, so we had this young doctor. He's like 40. Great guy. I go and sit down with him. I'm like, dude, he's dying. Like, what do you mean he's gonna fucking die? Like, he's on point. And he's like, this is what happens. Sometimes when somebody like this, he doesn't know he's dying, but he is, once, like all three of us brothers, all three of his sons were there, and it's like a high. And everything, he's just dialed into it all. And just very present.
Because everybody's there.
Yeah. And he's like, the doc is like, man, I have a feeling all 3 sons haven't been together with him. And I'm like, 25 years. And so we were all there. And I had my assistant back in Santa Fe. And I was like, hey, my dad played for Kelowna Pipe Band. And I was like, call her. I'm like, you gotta help me here. Get a piper and to come play for him at the hospital. And she was like, on. And she was great. And the next or Friday night, I'm like, Gooey, what do you want for breakfast? And he's like, give me something I shouldn't have. Give me like a fucking Costco muffin and a stupid amount of whipped cream and a coffee. And so of course I go overboard and bring him this fucking the big chocolate chip muffin and the coffee in the next morning. But he had gone from like dialed to he's hurting. And so we got this piper to come. We we're not allowed to do this. We bring him out in the courtyard, and the piper comes, and he's asleep. And she's like, "What do you want me to play?" Like they know of my dad that he had played for the Kelowna Pipe Band, and I'm like, I don't know many songs, and I just obviously Amazing Grace and stuff like that. And so she just rips it. He wakes up, and we're all buckled emotionally, right? Because the pipes to us is just like, that's our father. It's like our only memory, one of our only memories for him. So she plays 2 songs, and he's falling asleep again, and he wakes up, and I'm like, Gooey, you got one more song. And he's like, okay. He was a mama's boy, loved his mom, and she was amazing. And he's like, play one for my mother. So I think at that point, he knew he was about to go see her. And so we have all this on video, and his brother was there, and his wife, and his best friend growing up. And so the nurse comes out after the pipes. They're not, obviously the whole fucking hospital can hear it. And so we're obviously got caught. She's like, bring him up now. And so we're like, yes ma'am. So we fucking have him in his bed. And you know those like wheelchair ramps? Uh-huh. It's like a hard 90 degree. He's out. He's sleeping. And I'm the youngest of 3 boys. My middle bro's big. And then my other bro's like 6'2", big boy too. And we got him and we're stuck in that turn. So now it's like Weekend at Bernie's. We're like, and this is like a pain movie where it's like, I'm like, hey, Gooey's stuck. Boys, he's stuck. We can't get over this fucking corner because the bed's too long. And we're dying, like, we needed a laugh. And so I look down, and Gooey's arm is like fucking crooked, jammed in that bar.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, whoa, back up a bit. So we loosen up, and it's like, it's not broken, but he didn't feel any of this shit. Oh. So we're like crying, laughing, because it's like a Weekend at fucking Bernie's moment. It's our dark humor, man.
Right.
You gotta laugh in those moments.
Yeah.
And because we were just buckled 10 minutes earlier. Get him to the room, and he's in and out, sleeping. And the next day, on Father's Day, I had to drive back to Bozeman, and we have dark humor, and so everyone's in the room, and I'm like, all right, get the fuck out of this room, everybody, like a joke, but the nurses are like, oh my god, what happened? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, it's a joke, I just want 10 minutes with him, and then I gotta go back to work, but I'm gonna say goodbye. And so they leave, and he's like kind of in and out of consciousness, and he would wake up and look right through you. Like he's trying to be with you or present, or I don't know, that's kind of how I took it. And he's fighting consciousness, I guess. And small little side note, I was driving, and the shaman who was helping me for Primeval, he texted me once I got into Canada, and he was like, hey, I had a dream, you gotta fucking call me. And I'm like, I don't know if I believe this stuff, but I'll call you. And so I call him and he's like, hey, something's up. And I'm like, I've told 3 people that my dad's going. And he's like, I had a fucking dream that you're about to lose someone. I don't know if they're close to you. And I hate calling. This is a crazy call, but I'm going to listen to this. And I'm like, man, I'm on my way to say goodbye to my dad. He goes, okay, that's what it is. Wow. Yeah.
How weird is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I know. I don't know what that is. I'm still, and he's like, but tell me about your dad. What kind of guy was he? I'm like, not very present. He drank a lot, and, some regrets, of course, and this and that. He goes, okay, I'm going to set up an altar and pray for him. And this is what I think is going to happen. He's not going to cross over very easily because of the life he's lived. And so when I'm one-on-one with my dad, I started the conversation. I'm like, Gooey, it's me. And out. And he had soft hands. That's one thing I remember. So I grabbed his hand and I'm like, yeah, these are a little fucking soft, Gooey. Like, maybe you should have worked harder. Like, no calluses, like nothing. just trying to. And then I went into like the nonprofit and I'm going to do this and I'm going to try and give back and this and that. And I promised him. And during that conversation, he would try and like be conscious and he was fighting to be there present. Yeah. But he was, I think, gone. Yeah. And then 2 hours I left. And then on the way home, my girl called me and passed on Father's Day. And then I was back to work on Tuesday, fucking riding banana bread. Wow. My horse. Yeah, with like Shea Wiggum, who's an amazing actor. He played Jim Bridger in that. Yeah, Pete was great with me on that.
Did that help you like hold a feeling of loss for your character?
I think how crazy art simulating life and vice versa. Especially I'm playing a guy mourning, right. And then all of a sudden, like, my father, who I didn't really have, died, but it's still your dad, Yeah. And Pete was like, hey, this, do you want to ride banana bread into this shot or walk him? And I'm like, I'll ride him in. And I was doing a scene with Shea Wiggum, and it was beautiful because I was upset that some knew that it's my news to tell, but some had already knew the crew. Uh-huh. So I was a little rattled at that when I got to set because everyone was very fragile with me, which I understand. Right. But I was like, whoever told you guys, it's not your story to fucking tell. It's mine if I want to share it with the crew or whoever. But so I was a little upset on set, but then it was so beautiful, man, because a lot of these older guys on set would just come up and be like, man, my father was this guy to me, this guy, but I feel you. And they would share all their father stories. So it was a beautiful experience. And Pete was great, and Betty Gilpin was amazing. And that scene, I just buckled, like walked away from the Fort Bridger, and I just was pretty emotional. And Pete was like amazing. And then we shot the scene. He's like, go home. And then I got to my trailer, and literally to the minute of when I went down, that was the minute he got cremated. Yeah. And then, but I do think it was really cathartic to be playing that guy. And then I had a beautiful sweat after, and I mourned him the right way. It did knock me out for like, I'd say 6 months after. I was like, what am I doing? Am I doing everything or enough? Am I living my life enough? Because even if he's not in your life, you're still like, to witness that, it was heavy. Yeah. But I had mourned him right, and, I'm in a good spot now, but it was an interesting thing. You just take stock, I guess. I've never lost somebody close to me, especially in that way. So, yeah, it was just a blessing to be still on set working and doing that.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to appreciate people, and sometimes it takes a loss before you appreciate others sometimes. It's just like, you just get too used to people. You get too used to them being around, you take them for granted.
Yeah.
And then if they're gone, you just...
You know what, Joe? That's what I was fucking literally saying. he's just gone.
When I was
just like that.
living in New York, I had a best friend that was a drug addict, and he was a crack addict at one point in time, and then later he started getting into hard stuff like opiates.
Yeah.
And he died of an overdose. And I moved to LA in '94, but we stayed friends, we hung out. He'd come out to visit me. I'd go to visit him, but he was always fucked up. He was always a mess. He came to my house once to detox. I didn't know that that's why he wanted to come to LA, but he came to LA and he was just so sick. He just laid in bed for 4 or 5 days, and then a couple days later, I go back to New York. He died of an overdose, and another buddy of mine that I'm good friends with called me up, and we were all tight together. He called me up, and it just never made sense. I was like, how is he not here?
Yeah.
How is he gone? It just fucked me up where I knew he was going to die. Mm-hmm. I knew it was going to happen, but I couldn't believe it happened. Mm-hmm. And then, you got to go back to work, back to life, and you feel so like a piece of you is missing.
Yeah.
Like the world doesn't make sense.
Truly.
Like a person isn't in the world anymore. It's so hard to imagine until it actually happens. So abstract almost.
And like you said, even if I had enough time to understand he was going,
right?
But when they're gone, it's just totally different.
Yeah.
And then you just take stock and you're like, okay, am I doing enough? Am I whatever it is?
Just tell people you appreciate them. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all.
And forgave them.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't that son that was like, fuck, where were you? Why didn't you do this for me? Blah blah blah.
He is who he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you learn that as you get older.
Yeah. People are who they are. Some
Truly.
people also, they grew up with monsters.
Yeah.
That's the other problem. If you try to pretend that, your parents should have their shit together because you have your shit together and they were your parents, no. Because who raised them? They were raised by people living in the Depression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were raised by animals.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've only been truly civilized.
Truly.
Humans have only been truly civilized for the last few decades.
Truly.
I think most of history is just horrific barbarism. It's just slaughter and crime.
And repeat.
And